could go up to 11. But here is our first matchup. Billowy over here for MVP, the first player. 3-3, 0-1 versus Terran, and recently on a 3-game losing streak.
Keep in mind, though, that his 0-1 against Terran, I think, is not reflective of what we saw from him in the playoffs. He did play some really cool games on, like, Frost, where he was playing some really tricky strategies where he kind of faked out Blink and went into third base and took a lot of upgrades and played he basically gave all the signs of being aggressive, but then played defensively. So against Terran, he's actually a little bit better than those stats really show. GuMiho, on the other hand, hasn't played a single match versus Protoss. He's not in Code A right now. He very rarely plays in Pro League, so it's really a great treat when we do get to see him. But it's been a very, very long time since we've seen this guy actually come out in an important match like this. Yeah, and you know, CJ Entis putting him out here first, I think he's got to be doing well in-house. I think we're going to see actually better play out of GuMiho than people are expecting. I think he's going to come out here and give Billowy a really good game. He's got to be practicing for this map as well against Protoss. He's got to know he's up against Protoss going on base. Exactly, and he has probably no other games, no other tournaments to prepare for right now, no other qualifiers he's worried about because Code A is a long ways away. So just looking at this, I bet he's got a really special build plan. But Billy's also the type to make a specific build order. It could go either way. Let's jump into game number 1 between MVP and CJ Entis.
LTA는 SK텔레콤.
Down here in the bottom left in the teal for MVP, the Protoss player, it is Billowy.
And his opponent to the top left here in the yellow. We haven't seen him in a while. It's the nine-tailed fox, the towel Terran. It's GuMiho. And our GG girls here. They're cheering for CJ.
All cheer together for a win for CJ.
Now, I'm never going to wash this suit again because the GG girl that was on the left accidentally hit me with her hoodie earlier, and I'll never wash this jacket again.
That is not fair. I'm so jealous.
Sorry. The thing is, she didn't even notice that she hit me, and she didn't look back or say sorry, but still. I really feel like she might have noticed me, kind of.
Maybe.
You know, soon I might talk to her, you know.
Yeah.
She winked at me that one time, so...
That was not at you. That was at me, man. Don't try to make up stories, okay?
Well, okay, so we've talked about this map a lot. We don't really see too many non-PvPs on this map. We have seen a few, notably Marine King playing on here every time. In fact, he will be playing on this map as well going into our next match. It looks like these guys just showing some of their phrases there on the left side anyways. Those are Korean casters.
That was pretty cool. I wonder how they made that. That was pretty interesting fan sign there. But yeah, I'm really interested to see as well what kind of style GuMiho is going to do. Because when we saw Marine King play on this map, he used the Reaper and got like 7 kills. I don't remember exactly who the Protoss player was. I think we had like a Revelation back again, but I think I forget again.
It was Sora.
Okay, it was Sora, yeah, okay. And he really like abused all the Terran aggression very early game, and Sora had a very hard time dealing with that. And I wonder if GuMiho is going to do something similar, or if he's going to show us something different. So far, throwing down a CC first, not bad for the map.
No, definitely not. It's basically what you'd expect, unless we're going to see some sort of hyper aggression to punish maybe a risky Protoss expand on this map. But the map is just so big. Even if you do have some sort of really fast drop plan, you're probably going to struggle to get damage done most of the time unless the Protoss is doing something really greedy. So I like the choice of going Command Center first. It's the follow-up that I'm most interested in because, you know, I almost feel like you have to do something revolutionary on this map whenever you play on it. Like, you can't just, like, play a normal game, because if you play a normal game, oftentimes you're going to get wrecked. I like the idea that Sora went with trying to hide a third base. Again, that map was the one that I missed part of. Because I was having some health issues and I had to go off stage. But like, that's the game that I look back on and think like, okay, he was trying to do something different, trying to do something unusual. Marine King was very aggressive, crushed him there. But if Marine King attacked into like a 2-base Protoss, I don't know if he would have had the same amount of success on this map of this size.
Yeah, definitely. Other stuff we've seen on this map before is players trying to go, CC first, but then drop down the rocks There are so many rocks and rock towers on this map. You have to mention it whenever we go into this map. You can make different pathways on the map. You can block off different pathways that used to be there. Billowy is going to start getting going on these rocks over here.
Yeah, just wants to slow down the attack.
Yep.
That could eventually come. I really don't think we're going to see anything like mech on this map. The reason why I always, said for a while that I thought this should become a Terran map was just because there's so many choke points to abuse melee units like Zealots and Zerglings with all the rocks and all the places where you can lift up units and drop ships and float them over the small gaps. He's going to come over here, not going to get a whole lot of scouting done. In fact, turns around for some reason.
No, not sure about that, but bad thing for him there is that he doesn't scout the Nexus. I mean, he could probably just assume it, even just based on the One Stalker being out right now. He's like, okay, probably go Nexus, but just the fact that he wasn't able to get that SCV even close enough to see the Nexus, it's got to be annoying for him.
There was a map last season of Pro League. I think it was called Andromeda, or maybe it was called like, wasn't called like Anaconda, something weird like that. But it was a map kind of similar to this, where there were a lot of rocks, and it was a pretty big map, very slow to. Oh, that our toe slope getting really scared there. Not that probe, but. There was a lot of terrain on the map, and I thought maybe, we'll see mech on this map potentially. Maybe somebody's going to just utilize the fact that it's so slow and go for that. But it doesn't seem that that's the way these players like to play on these maps. They just like to use their drop ships. That Widow Mine placement was noted by our observer because it's behind the assimilator, or rather the refinery, so that it can't be seen by a flying unit like an Oracle, and then it just comes off and kills you.
Yeah, I really like that play on this map. You got not cross positions. It's very likely that the Protoss can do something with Oracles after an expand. We've seen it before. And he just puts it there because if an Oracle flies over that, it gets one-shotted, and it will go down with no damage. So very nice idea there, especially because he doesn't know exactly what Billowy is doing just yet.
Well, he can technically see it now with the Observer, if he can actually see that. So maybe he'll keep that in mind for later.
Nice.
He misses the Armory, in fact, as well as that eBay. What do you think that Armory's for? Do you think we're going to see some Hellbat drops, maybe?
I think it could be possible here. We're going to have to wait. I think first, though, he is dropping that third CC. Both these players being very aggressive with their expands to start off.
Yeah, third Nexus is almost complete right now. He's got the Twilight Council finished. He's going to start Blink. It's already getting +1. And he gets +1 for vehicles here and starts some siege tanks. First siege tank is on the way. So we could see some Marine tank, Raven type play, but normally this isn't done off of 3 bases, and it's usually done on 2, where you just eventually hit a timing attack off 2 bases and try to crush the Protoss. But I wonder if he'll try to just end up making a combination of mech units with bio.
We've seen that a lot. Well, not a lot, actually. Just a little bit on, actually, Outboxer versus Terran. Against Zerg, sorry. A lot of Terrans on that map just trying to utilize the various different units of the Terran and just make this very strong overall big composition. And maybe GuMiho's thinking some kind of similar play here with, upgrades focused here both for bio and the tanks.
Yeah, that's true. We've seen some of this kind of, I like to call it like Chimera Terran. It's like this combination of 2 styles put together. Because and the thing is, it's not, people are like, it's bio mech. I'm like, no, that's not it, because it's not mech and it's not bio. Like, it's not bio and mech. That's not what it is. It's like Marines with a bunch of mech units. Pretty heavy on the siege tanks. He's adding now 2 factories. So this is the kind of play that you and I were thinking, like, okay, GuMiho's got a lot of time to practice on this specific map. He's got to do something weird. He's got to do something unusual, and that's exactly what we're starting to see here, where he's adding the factories. He's got that mech upgrade early. So I'm curious about this. This is already shaping up to be a pretty unique game.
I like it. I think we're going to go later here. With the way that GuMiho's looking, I mean, he's going quick into 3 bases. So is Billowy. And GuMiho's actually going to scan there and see the probe transferring. So he's got to assume the 3rd base is there. He's going to walk across the map and try to do some damage. Maybe he would want to take that Widow Mine with him.
Yeah, I guess maybe he's just going to leave it there to stop any probes or zealots from going to counterattacks he doesn't know about. It's kind of like his own observer in a way. But I don't think he can really get a ton of damage done. This is just a tiny force here. And already the army count of his opponent is high enough to where with a few warpins, I think he should be okay. Just all about positioning, though. Because if the Immortals can't hit the siege tanks, that becomes another story.
And look at this. A blink forward isn't able to get that 2nd shot on the medevac, but that does reveal to GuMiho that the blink is there. And I think once he sees that, he's just going to back off. Yeah, he just goes back home.
Yeah, I think when he scanned, he was hoping to see the army. That scan location looked kind of that way, and he was like, that's not enough units for anything. Like, I must have just missed your army. I think that medevac was actually just a scout. He's just coming over there to see, okay, how big is your army? Sees that, and he's like, oh, no, you have Blink 2. There's no way I'm actually going to be able to contest this right now. Goes into quadruple Hellbat production off of these 2 reactor factories, gets the Infernal Pre-Igniter. He's on point about not only hitting his +2 attack for his vehicles, but also for his bio. So he's really hitting those upgrades hard. And he's already got a Marine count of up to 31 at this point, so he's got this great buffer for his meching units here.
Yeah, back at Billowy's base, he's just adding a ton of gateways here. He's getting Colossi with the range. Again, the upgrades for him pretty on point as well, using the Chrono Boost there for the +2 to his attack. Adding a Twilight, Templar Archive, sorry, as well. Will want to go into those archives and possibly storm, as there are so many Marines there. If you land a couple good storms on all of those Marines, they are going to have a lot of trouble.
Yeah, definitely true. He doesn't have any Vikings yet, and this is going to become a problem. Okay, no, he does have some Vikings. I just didn't see them. My production tab over here is like a bit bugged out sometimes. Okay, well, he only has 2 Vikings, so I was almost correct. Like, he has 4 now, but that's still not enough Vikings. Don't forget the Vikings will get that +2 upgrade as soon as it finishes. Raven here at full energy right now. Oh, I don't know about this engagement. This is really scary. Both players have to be really careful about how they do this. The player who's set up better is going to win this fight almost 100%.
Yeah, and look at this. A pylon hidden on the other side of this wall. Those Zealots can either harass at the third base or come from behind. And GuMiho is pulling a bunch of his SCVs.
Yeah, he is. That Observer, almost gets out of there. That's a lot of ranged Colossus damage here on those Marines. The tank siege up, however. Point defense drone is good here. The Zealots are already at the front, but there's Hellbats to buffer, and GuMiho's composition looks too strong here. He got those tanks sieged up, those Hellbats at the front, doing so much to tank against the Zealots, and he doesn't eliminate those Vikings, so they are picking away at the Colossi.
Yeah, there's Zealot harass going back at the third base of GuMiho, but I'm not sure if it's going to matter here. This army looks so strong right now once he sieges up right next to these gateways, picking off a bunch of these Zealots that just warp in again, and oh my god, the army of Billowy is being demolished right now.
It is getting wrecked, man, and you know, those Zealot harassment doesn't matter too much considering there's not very many SCVs left at home to kill. These Stalkers are actually getting hurt by those rocks. They're taking a little bit of extra time to go around, allowing the Bioforce to do even more damage. And the SCVs buffered just a little bit at the beginning, and that was enough because the Hellbats could buffer the rest of the Zealots. Now there's not enough Zealots to worry about, so he's killed the Hellbats, yeah, but so what when there's no more Zealots really to deal with this? Okay, even more Hellbats coming across the map with a few Marauders here. I think this is the end of the game.
Yep, it's looking like it. GG. GuMiho, what a build. Really, really cool for the map. I like it.
Terrans are doing well on this map. I hope it makes its way to round 4. I know a lot of people will be upset by me saying something like that, but I really have been enjoying it, and I hope it sticks around for round 4. Definitely been cool to see, like a very cool experimental map. And this is great for CJ taking game number 1.
Yeah, I mean, this is what I was saying before the game. They would not have sent out GuMiho here, who doesn't really have any other things like you were talking about to worry about except this one game. And he obviously had a very, very nicely prepared, well-prepared build there. And Billowy just didn't really have the composition. I feel like he was trying to do too many things at the same time while the push was about to happen. Like he was getting Colossi, but he only got 2. And you were saying like the Vikings were out, but not in big number. But at the end of the day, it was like, well, he only had 2 Colossi, and he's got tanks in the back as well.
Yeah, it's a tough composition to prepare for.